it's Say back here. Welcome back to my podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about the power of reading. Books have taken me on such thrilling journeys, and that's to go to places I can't go and to meet people that I can't meet, all in my head. I have grown so fond of books, including novels, and I read them almost every day. In today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about the very high importance of reading and how much I love it. So, grab a cup of tea and let's dive in. First of all, there are so many great things about books. Just to list a few, you can learn so much by them. And books are like gifts which you can open again and again and again. Don't you also love it when you can just grab a hot cup of coffee and sit on your couch reading a wonderful book, all nice and cozy, and dive into that world of adventure? I sure do. Books are just they're unexplainable, but I have two words to say about them: astonishing and extremely thrilling. Because they have so many plot twists and so many things where you're just wondering what's going to happen next. And every time someone tells you it's time to go to sleep, you're always like, just one more chapter. And this is going to take you reading through the whole night. Seriously, I can't tell you how much I love books. But now, let's start talking about the power of reading and how important it can be to us humans. Books might teach us, including non-fiction books, but fiction books also have some power which can definitely help us. First of all, they can help you gain confidence, whether you believe it or not, because reading about other people's accomplishments and goals just somehow helps people be more confident about themselves. And, of course, you can't forget the fact that fiction books are putting you into other people's shoes so you know how it feels like and you can connect more with different types of people. Scientists have discovered that books actually raise our dopamine level, which is actually what keeps us happy and even helps us sleep. If you listened to my last podcast about dreams, you would know that I said there are a few things you need to sleep good, and one of them was reading. Because scientists discovered that reading a few pages, at least 5 pages of a book every day, can fill your mind with happy thoughts and help you sleep better. And, of course, you can't forget the fact that the books boost your vocabulary so high. Sometimes when I read a book, the next day, it just helps me so much in my English writing that the teachers are so surprised and they're like, "Say, how do you know what this word means?" And I'm like, well, it's just all by reading. So, of course, books can help in your vocabulary, but they can also help in your spelling, of course. And you have to remember, books are more than just words on a page. They're a story that unfolds chapter by chapter. It's a whole life and a whole new world just on a page. How amazing is that? Now, this might sound crazy, but scientists have actually discovered that books can even increase your lifespan. So, books are basically putting a spell on you, and they're just, mesmerizing you. Because books can actually help people live up to 2 years longer. But of course, like everything, you have to be consistent and read at least 20 pages a day. So, there are so many great reading habits that people can have. One of my favorites is just sitting wherever you want, but remembering to have a goal about reading your books and read that many every day for at least a couple of weeks. And, of course, when you finish a book, do not think of taking a break, because you have to keep reading a lot. Because that's the only way all of these amazing things can happen. Books really are wonders of the world. Now, here are some book recommendations that I could give you, and of course, some books that I've loved reading over the past years. The first one, many of you might have guessed I'd be saying this, is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a series written by J.K. Rowling with 8 books, and it's about a boy named Harry who goes to Hogwarts and meets his 2 friends, Hermione and Ron. He then enjoys his time at Hogwarts, but then figures out that there's a villain named Voldemort who's trying to kill him. Of course, though, Harry isn't going to let this happen because Voldemort is trying to destroy the whole wizarding world. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I don't like giving spoilers, so let's move on to the next book series that I've completely loved. The next one is, you might have guessed it already, Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson, similarly, is about a boy named Percy who goes to Camp Half-Blood and figures out that he's half human and half god. It's written by the amazing author Rick Riordan and is amazing, really. It has a mix of Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and even a little bit of Egyptian mythology. There are also a lot of follow-up series and sequels, which brings me to my next book recommendation, which is The Heroes of Olympus. I actually very recently finished this book series about last month, and I completely fell in love with it. I mean, you have the same characters back, plus new ones, and it just takes you on such a thrilling adventure. It's about the 7 demigods who answer the call, not going to say the names, but you might know a few, and they are, told to try and defeat Gaia. Gaia is the monster of the earth goddess. Now you might think she's amazing with green frocks and flowers in her hair, but she's not. She's pure evil. Now, another book series that I've loved, but I can't tell you much about because I've actually just started it, is The Chronicles of Narnia. I read the first book and I'm almost finished with the second, and it's about a mystical place called Narnia where a lion named Aslan stays, and there's this evil witch named Jadis, and she claims that she's the queen of Narnia. Of course, though, this isn't true, and she's just a wicked witch trying to take advantage of little kids. Can you believe that? Well, that's enough about my book recommendations. I definitely hope that you read a few of them, and I definitely hope that you enjoy them. Now, apart from these series, of course, I've read a lot of single books in between. Some I've liked a lot, but some didn't really catch my interest. Of course, though, you can always read any book that you want, but of course, the best are the ones which are recommended by another kid. All of them have taken me for such a thrilling journey through so many magical places, whether they are actually magical or not. Some of these books have even been written off real stories, but of course they're not actually real and they're all fiction. But of course, just because I'm telling you these book recommendations doesn't mean you have to read fiction books, because many people also have interest in non-fiction books. And in fact, many people believe that non-fiction books can teach us a lot more than fiction ones. Now, just saying, they both teach us the equal amount. Now, I love reading, and I read in places like trains, on the walk, or even, of course, one of my favorite places, in my room. Once I open those books, my whole mind stops thinking about the world I'm in and goes to a new one in seconds. I can barely even try to put a book down, and you can't make me do anything else once I started reading, because I have to finish my goal and I have to please my mind with everything I've read about. Sometimes though, of course, I go much higher and I end up finishing the book when I was only halfway through it. And I'm talking about a lot bigger books, like 300 and even sometimes 400 pages long. So I love reading, and I hope that you do too. And if you don't, I hope this podcast has inspired you. Remember, books are the most loyal friends one can have, and reading them are one of the most marvelous adventures anyone can have. So, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and don't forget to subscribe to me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. So then, I'll see you next time. Bye!